Another day piled on this, and I have just absolutely had it. Yesterday was exhausting. My body feels destroyed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do any of this at all. I'm going to squat today, and that's it. Maybe I'll do some other shit later, but I've got zero patience for it. If I didn't have this streak, I would not do it. I just wouldn't. And I know that sounds pretty negative and pretty garbagey and a bad attitude and all that. But I also think that, like, these are the soft doldrums before a big thing happens. You know, the burpee war starts in just 5 days, 4 days. And from there, I know I'm working into a pretty extreme endurance stage, you know? You could call it a hypertrophy stage. You could call it a cardiovascular training stage. And I think there's like a part of my heart that's readying itself and trying to restore before that begins. And there's also a part of my heart that's just a little depressed because I don't want to do it. I never want to do it. That's part of the burpee war. I am alternately stoked that this nightmare starts in under a week, and just like, man, why do you do this to yourself every year? You don't have to. Like, you created this problem, and you're acting like it's jumping out of a cake, surprising you. Nothing for it, man. That's part of the whole game. That's what keeps me coming back and keeps me playing. I love this namelessness. I love this nameless quality about it. That a version of me and a couple of friends came up with a dumb idea a dozen years ago. And I'm beholden to that idea. The last year of my life will be a burpee war year. That's magic. That's magical. But I'm going to squat today. I'm going to squat and I'm going to take it easy. And that's that. So, how's that for an intro? Right? Stay tuned, guys. I got nothing else. Well, today I ended up working out funny. Like I said, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to do this work. And I figured I'll just hit my minimum, man. I'll just get the minimum in and call it a day. And I figured I'd start at 135. And just for fun, not even a good reason, I just add 5 pounds at a time and go up to my minimum, 170. Maybe 185, and call it. And sure enough, you know, like, geez, my body feels like garbage, my head hurts, my stomach felt weird. I had no shortage of complaints. And then I started adding 5 pounds at a time, and as the weight got heavier, I felt stronger and stronger. And I'll spoil the whole thing right now. I topped out at 250. Which is a PR. That's my max. That's my new max by 5 pounds. And I could have even gone higher. It already took me like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I think we're at roughly 3 times speed. And the reason I stopped was I just didn't want to go anymore. I just feel like I was taking too much time, you know? My kids are coming later today, and so I only had a brief window. Morale couldn't have been lower. My body, it certainly felt worse, but it didn't feel good. And 5 pounds at a time, a little bit on each go. It's such a weird experience. I've made this observation in the past, but it bears repeating. You cannot trust your emotions when it comes to working out. Your emotions are are almost never accurate. In fact, my emotions, and I won't speak for you on this, but my emotional state is almost the opposite. Like, what my feelings tell me and how I perform it's almost like I could assume the opposite of how I feel, and that's how I'm going to do. And I've had the reverse case numerous times where I wake up and I feel great and I'm ready to go and I'm excited to hit the weights. And then I get something on my back and I'm like, fuck this. Like, I can't get it. I can't move. I can't get it up. But man, I don't know. When it all lines up, the tunes were hitting just right. And just every time I hit those safety bars, I felt stronger than the time before. The weight was slightly heavier, but it felt slightly lighter each time. Right up to about 225. Then the diminished returns kick in, And of course it does. Like, how could it not? I mean, if it didn't go that way, then people would just be infinitely strong, right? Like, that's not going to work out. So, anyway, this is kind of a long video. And I don't even know why I'm posting the whole thing. I guess maybe I'm just lazy. But man, what a great workout. Hit a PR out of nowhere. And that speaks to running an anti-program too. Like, I think those of you who have run proper strength programs, proper periodization programs, regardless of which style you choose, will know that if you follow the rules, if you take care of yourself, if you eat right, if you recover right, you go through the motions and at the end you hit a PR. This happens almost every time. But occasionally you run a program. You do everything right. You do everything right within reason. Doesn't mean you don't fuck up, but you eat right, you sleep right, you take care of yourself, you prioritize the work. And then you get to the end of that 8, 10, 12, 16 weeks, and you don't hit a PR. And that feeling of betrayal is among the worst feelings you're likely to ever feel, Like, and it's fun too, because you get to then put on your Sherlock Holmes hat and try and figure out what went wrong. And there's almost always a logical explanation. There's almost always something you overlooked, some piece of assistance work that needed secondary prioritization that you just neglected because you hate it, or some element of self-care, or some element of stress in your life outside of the gym that just weighed too heavily. It got a bigger vote count than you expected, and it cost you too much. That makes sense. That's all fine. But when you run a looser program like I do, which that's not to say I don't program. I know you don't really get a good snapshot of it in these videos. But I do run periodization, I do run progressive overload. It doesn't translate well to these videos, and honestly, it doesn't translate well to my life in general. I guess I'm quite a bit like Ivan in that regard. But when I do hit something, it's a surprise. It surprises me. I say, like, it jumps out of a cake, and there it is, And I would have bet almost anything, not my life, but almost anything else, that there was no chance I was PRing the squat today. No chance. Just no way I could do that. No way. I had another 10 pounds. Easy. Like, Jesus. I wonder how far out of reach 275 is. Like, I really do. It seems like if I steer my training a little bit, that's very achievable within the next month or so. And just, I can remember doing pin squats at a super high pin with 275 just a couple months ago and thinking, there is no way I'll ever squat this much. Just feeling like I was gonna crumble under it, you know? And 250 felt good today. Like, it felt really good. I felt strong. My knees were moving out. My positioning was good. I'd like to do it without the safety bars, or the safety bars a little bit lower, because I did hit the bars, and in my heart, I know I didn't rebound off those bars, but also, I don't like the ambiguity. I just, like, the bars are good. They're absolutely good. I am converted to them, and I'm not getting rid of them. But if I set them a little lower so that I had to reverse that momentum fully in my body, rather than getting a little bit of a cheat off those bars, I think I could count that and feel good about it. The 250 I don't show in the time lapse. I did that as a short. I'm going to tag it on here. I just don't like the formatting and don't know how to fix it. But yeah, I'm going to watch a couple of these reps with you guys just to see what they're looking like. And I went pretty fast. I hit every 5-pound increment from 135 to 245. So what is that, 22? Yeah, 22 reps. Like, they're only singles. I wonder how logical that is as a progression strategy too. You know, people typically pyramid. They pyramid up or down. But I just did singles. And, you know, I'm not opposed to a pyramid. I think I could definitely have done smaller jumps and done it pyramid style, like 135 for somewhere in the 6 to 8 range, 185 for the 2 to 4 range, 225 for the maybe 2 or 3, and then like really rest and go for it. I think that would work just fine. I like it like this. It gives me more time to pace, more time to listen to music. Yeah, I had quite a bit of bounce on that one. Even with the time lapse, I could see it. Some of them bounced more than others, and that has more to do with my mindset and my attitude at the moment I'm under the bar than it does to like me trying to cheat. Because I'll tell you flatly, my pride's not in this. Like, it's nice to hit a PR, but I don't give a shit. I don't care at all, you know. I just like working out. This is a drum I've been beating for months now, but I'm not in here for PRs, you know. I enjoy this. And I want a strong body for the rest of my life, you know. I don't want to hit a big number once. That goal doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not trying to win at squatting. Which, that sounded shitty. I'm not picking on anyone else who is oriented that way. I don't mean it like that. But I don't have that in me. I don't feel that way, you know? As a younger man, I did, and maybe as an older man, I will again. But right now, I couldn't care less about that, you know? So, I think we're nearing 220, if not on 220. This is 3 times speed, which I do like better than a 5 times speed. Oh, yeah, we're going for it. We're getting the big boys out. Okay. I do want to see what these reps look like because they felt great. Like, they felt really good. So, all right. All right, old man. Come on. Get under that bar. Mm-hmm. Yep, perfect. Like the knees came in a little bit. I was doing everything I could to force them out. My body felt upright and strong. I hinged forward. I always hinge forward, you know? Like structurally, that's just how I'm built. I hinge forward. I don't think there's any way for me to really cheat those dynamics. Definitely a little ankle mobility would go a long way and help me out quite a bit. And I am working on it, but like, that's not a quick fix, you know? I gotta have some time on this. Yeah, and I just wandered off screen. That's something else I like to do. I like to take little strolls in between my work. So you get these long pauses where you're just staring at my barbell and my rack. Bell's of Steel rack, everybody. Got a really good price on it during COVID. Everyone else had marked their prices way up because everyone was building home gyms. But Bells of Steel treated me really well. See? Even better, man. That looked even better. Better speed, better control. Minimal bounce against the bar. Although I am starting to agonize over that bounce a little bit. So yeah, I ran out of stuff to say. But that's it. I'm going to tag the 250 on the end of this. But just a great day of lifting. Like, out of nowhere. Totally didn't expect it. Certainly didn't deserve it. And there it is. 230, 235. I've never done so many reps above 225 or 100 kg. It's just weird. Just a really kind of charmed day, you know? And all this moving around and shaking my body and stretching in between right now is just me trying to deal with my nerves. I'm definitely not trying to open up in any way. I just like, you know, every time I put over 200 on my back, I get scared. Which I know some of you cats squat like over 400, so it probably seems silly to you. But I'm loving those reps. Wow. All right, so we're winding down. I think the last one you'll see is 245. And 245 is my old max. My original plan was to keep going until I literally couldn't get off the pins. But it just ended up taking so long, you know? And all right, let's be totally honest. I got scared too, you know? I was building so much pressure in my brace that I thought, like, am I gonna pop blood vessels in my eyes? Like, what's the hernia risk really? Because I'm pressing my guts out into this belt pretty hard. Man, I feel good about that one too. That really looked great. Okay, so I'll add my final rep next. And yeah, this is Joe in real life. I love you guys. Be good to each other today.